The Menendez cartel was all but untouchable, so the CIA took out Raul's father in a US-sanctioned assassination.
Right, so now Menendez fucking hated America and started running guns in Afghanistan for his own private army. CIA got wind of it, went on the hunt for him in Kabul.
Hey, welcome back lads, so let's talk some more about Call of Duty 2024 or the next Black Ops game and the information we had about open world campaign missions, because there was some more specific information about one of these missions being based on a real life operation that happened in the Gulf War. So if we look into that, it helps us to understand more about what's going to happen in this game and what we can expect from the open world campaign missions. So yeah, let's get into it. And just to make sure that we are all up to date with that, we got the news last week, right, that Call of Duty is once again going to experiment with these open world combat missions or campaign missions in Black Ops Gulf War or whatever you want to call it, but it's going to be different to what we saw in MW3, thankfully, but that still leaves us with questions like, well, how is it going to work and is it going to be any good? But also remember, there was another leak about the campaign months ago, a massive leak, that told us that this game is going to explore a real life mission that happened in the Gulf War, which was Bravo 20. That was a raid by the British SAS behind enemy lines in Iraq. Basically, it was this special operations team that were driving around the desert in these jeeps and whatnot, with the purpose to seek and destroy these long-range Scud missile systems that Iraq had. So just from that description, I think we can all kind of see and imagine how that could be the basis of an open-world mission where we'll be roaming around a massive desert area looking to destroy some of these like high-value targets. I guess that'll be the main objective, right, is to destroy a certain amount, whether it's 3 or 5 of these missile launchers, and they could be scattered all around a massive area, and you would have freedom to kind of go around to do it in any order and do it how you like, unlike in a regular campaign mission where it's very linear, right, where you have to follow a certain path, a very strict path, and do things in a certain order. But then again, we don't want it to be like those open combat missions in MW3 where it's just very basic. Those sucked because they were extremely basic, more like little spec ops missions than campaign missions, but that was the idea. It's just supposed to be more freedom, but not larger scale necessarily than a regular campaign mission. So that's what we're hoping with this game, they can actually kind of take it to the next level. And just some other random ideas I have in my head about this is like, because these are like vehicle based launchers, right, one might be moving around randomly, so you would have to track it down, almost like the Stronghold convoy in Modern Warfare Zombies, and one of the launchers could also be based deep in like an enemy military base or an air base or something like that, so you'd have to like sneak around a heavily guarded area to get access to it, something like that. So yeah, at this point we can basically confirm that that is going to be like the idea behind one of the open world missions in the next Black Ops game. Now, talking about this also gave me another idea, kind of just randomly popped into my head, that something we could likely see would be a large scale all-out tank battle mission, kind of like way back in the day. I don't know how many of you guys played those games, but like back in like the PS2 era COD games, the World War II ones, there'd always be like a standard tank mission where you would play as a tank, and those missions would normally take place in like kind of open field areas, so it wasn't open world, but it felt like it, or it felt more free and open compared to standard missions. So imagine like the next evolution of that, it would be based on like one of the large scale tank battles from the Iraq War. So just imagine like driving around this massive flat desert with hundreds, or okay, maybe not hundreds, but like a load of different armored vehicles just having an all-out war. And also remember, the initial leak last week did say that these missions would have vehicles and a fast travel system, which means that they will be like big, you know, that they require those kind of systems. So I expect these missions will at least be on the kind of scale of ground war maps or something like Zombies Outbreak, like a campaign missions version of that, or, you know, at the very largest it could be missions on an area the size of like an entire Warzone map, but I'm not really sure, that might be a bit too ambitious. But yeah, let's just hope they can pull it off and make a good campaign. So that's all we have time for today. Stay spicy, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.